Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Read Latin. Last week we were told to look out for a white sow with 30 piglets. Now the river god told us this because that's going to be the site of our great city Alba Longa, which will become, eventually, fingers crossed, the wonderful imperial city of Rome. Okay, so let's get into this passage. It's still the river god Tiber speaking. Hic locus urbis erit. Hic. So that means here, on this spot. Locus erit. Erit is there will be. Locus, a place, the place. Here will be the place of the urbis, of the city. Requies ea certa laborum. Requies is rest. Certa is certain, so assured rest, and ea is that, emphatic, that assured rest, laborum, of labours. Now we could say from labours, the idea that it's a rest, what kind of rest? Rest from labours. Now, this line is bracketed because there's a number of manuscripts which don't have it, but we're not entirely sure. Let's keep it here and translate it anyway, so that you can have this part translated. Ex quo ter denis urbem redeuntibus annis, Ascanius clari condet cognominis albam. Alright, so ex quo. Now that's a nice little hard start to a sentence. Ex means out of, quo, that thing, something, out of which, so it could be from that place, or it could be from that portent, or it could even be from that time on. You could choose any of those phrases and that will still work. So I'm going to just go for from that place. Ascanius is right down in the second line, and well, the third line in this selection, but it's the second line of this sentence. Ascanius condet, will found, from condo condere. Ascanius will found as in found a city, lay the foundations of, will found the urbem, the city, within ter denis annis. So that's an ablative of time within which, 3 times 10, and that's 30, within thrice 10 years, or within 30 years, Ascanius will found the city. What kind of city? Albam, white, or Alba. Ascanius will found the city, Alba, clari cognominis, of famous name. The city of famous name, Alba. Now the 30, why 30? Why 30 years? Well, if you remember from the last time, it was 30 piglets. And so that's why there's a very specific number, and a very high number as well, of piglets, 30. Haud incerta cano. Now let's see, cano. I sing just like cano, arma virumque cano. The first line of the epic, I sing of arms in a man. Sing can mean prophesy, it can mean say, or a poet sings in the sense that the poetry that you say aloud is sung. So I sing, I say, I sing the things, the incerta things, uncertain things, or haud incerta, things that are not at all uncertain. So what I'm saying right now, it's really certain. It's very certain. And of course that is Laetotes. The things I sing are not at all uncertain. Nunc qua ratione quod instat expedias victor. Nunc, now, qua ratione, by which account, I want to say, but really that doesn't quite make sense in English. We can say by what means, how. Now, how, expedias, you may settle, you may put right, you may disentangle. The idea is that something's in a mess and you put it into the good order. You make it right, you sort it out. Sort out the mess. Now, how you'll sort out the thing. Now, what is the thing? Quod instat. Literally, what presses upon, or you could say the present trouble. Now, by which account you may disentangle the present trouble, victor, as a victor. You could also say triumphantly. Now, by which account you may disentangle the present trouble triumphantly, paucis adverte docebo. Docebo, I will teach, paucis, with a few what? Because there's no other word there that it's agreeing with. We're going to have to think and say probably paucis verbis. With a few words, I will teach you. Adverte, pay attention. Okay, so we can say, pay attention, I will teach you in a few words. Arcades his oris, genus a palante profectum. Okay, well, now we're going to talk about how is going to do this stuff. How is going to be a victor. Arcades are the Arcadians. Now, Arcadia is not what gives us the word arcade. That's a totally different etymology. Arcadia is sort of in the middle bottom part of Greece. And I'll bring up a map here. There's Arcadia. Arcades, the Arcadians, a genus, a tribe, profectum, which set out from. Palante, from Pallas. Pallas is a guy's name. He is the great-grandfather of Evander. He is not the same as Pallas Athena, if you were wondering that. Has a different word root. And we are left with his oris, on these coasts. On these coasts, the Arcadians, a tribe which came from Pallas, qui regem evandrum comites, qui signa secuti. Now the qui, in both of those cases, is going with the secuti, who followed. Who followed what, or whom? Who followed regem evandrum, King Evander, comites, as companions, as comrades. Who followed King Evander as comrades, qui signa secuti. Who followed the signa are standards, as in the military, they have flags that they hold up that signify this is this particular legion. And the standards is another way of saying you just follow this person's leadership. Who, as comrades, followed King Evander and his standard, delegere locum. Chose is what delegere is. It should be delegerunt, but it is shortened for poetic convenience. Who chose, they chose, the Arcadians chose a place, a locum, et possuere in montibus urbem palantis proavi de nomine palanteum. They placed in the mountains, in montibus, urbem, a city, de nomine, from the name, palantis proavi, of their great-grandfather Pallas, from the name of their great-grandfather Pallas. And what's this city named? Palanteum. That's a very spondaic end to the line. It has a 5th foot spondy there, which is very unusual. Palanteum. Okay, so I can say that one more time. From Arcades. On these coasts, the Arcadians, a tribe which came from Pallas, who as comrades followed King Evander and his standard, chose a place and placed a city in the mountains called Palanteum, from the name of their great-grandfather Pallas. Hi bellum adsidue ducunt, cum gente latina. These people, they do what? They ducunt. They lead, they bring They bring bellum, they bring war. So lead war is really wage war. They wage war adsidue, assiduously. Assiduously means constantly, all the time, continuously. They wage war cum gente latina, with the tribe, the Latina tribe, the Latin tribe, with the Latin race. These people wage war constantly. Now, the Latins, who are the Latins? Latins come from the region called Latium, which is around Rome, that kind of area. And of course, the Arcades are Greeks. Hos castris adhiber, socios et foedera junge. Hos adhiber. Okay, adhiber is the command here. Attach, join. Hos, these people. Castris, to your camp. Now, castra is always plural, and you don't have to translate it plural. It looks very awkward when you say to your camps, when it really would function well by saying attach these people to your camp. Socios. Now, socios is an ally, so attach these people to your camp as allies. Et foedera junge. And join treaty with them. Junge, join, foedera, we get our word federation, and such gives us the word treaty. All right, that was quite unexpected that there would be Greeks allying with Trojans, and we're supposed to trust these Greeks, join treaty with them, and bring them into our camp, attach them to where our men are meant to be, when only very recently we've just had a decade-long war, or maybe even 2 decades, depending on which quote from Homer you use, decade-long war with the Greeks. Trojans versus Greeks. Everything's just turning on its head here. There's new alignment of power. And, interestingly, it's not the first time that Aeneas was told that this was going to happen. There was a very quick reference to it in Book 6, where the Sibyl, inspired by the god of prophecy Apollo, says the first way of help, the first road of help, which you would hardly believe, quod minime reris, will lie open from a Greek city. And that is, of course, referencing Evander. And you can tell that Evander's going to be a good guy because, his name literally means good man. If you ever forget who's on which side, Evander, good man, it's fairly easy to remember. He's on Aeneas's side. Alright, so join us next time for the moment when the river rounds up his speech, and it seems like he swells up in describing his own majesty. Join us then.